I made 629 Instagram posts and grew my page to over 500,000 followers. This is everything I learned. You are just one post away from completely changing your life. Back in December 2022, I had my very first viral video, and it completely changed my life. It allowed me to build a multi-six-figure business that I have right now and transition into being a full-time content creator. So if you can just keep going, learning from your failures and not doing what doesn't really work for you, learning what works for you, you will eventually hit that viral video. And knowing the fact that all you gotta do every day is just to scratch that lottery ticket, aka put out content, which costs you nothing besides your time. And one of those tickets are going to be a winner. So don't stop just because your fifth video doesn't blow up. From my experience, early engagement is the key to going viral. And most of the time, you can tell if the posts are gonna be a winner or not within the first 2 to 5 hours. On the very, very rare cases, your post is not performing in those 2 to 5 hours, and then out of nowhere, after a week, it starts performing. But that usually never happens, and happened to me only a couple of times. But when you post a reel or a carousel and you see that it got 2 times, 3 times, 4 times better engagement within those first 2 to 5 hours, you can tell that this post is going to continue flying in the next 1 to 2 weeks, and it's most likely gonna reach wider audience or even go crazy viral. Instagram CEO himself said that shares is the most important metric they view when they're deciding if they're gonna push out your post or not. Because Instagram is sharing platform. Think about how many times you find something funny or relatable and you just click send to your friend on Instagram. And whenever you're optimizing your content for that goal, Instagram is gonna work in optimizing your content to push it further. That makes sense. Growth on Instagram comes in cycles, almost like a stock market. It's not like you just go viral and then you keep going viral and growth never stops. Most of the time, what happens is that you go viral once, you have this crazy bull run for weeks, months, and then it stops and slows down. You're still creating content, you're still growing a little bit more slowly, and everything just normalizes until you catch that wave again. And if you go to my social blade, for example, you're gonna find that I've been in this cycle 2 to 3 times already. And in reality, you only need 1 to 2 of these cycles to get set on Instagram and grow your initial audience for forever. And after that, after you grew that audience, you're just gonna be growing slower until the cycle happens again. And if you look at any of big creators, if you go to their social blade, I can almost guarantee you're gonna find that they had this crazy ride, spike in followers growth, and then it went down and normalized it, and then it happened again. Consistency is tricky. On one hand is you have to be consistent in order to improve your content and get better. But people mistake consistency with result. They think that if they just stay consistent, they, gonna grow and blow up, which is not the case. I know people that have made over 1,000 posts and not grew 1,000 followers. Some people can say it's not fair, but in my opinion, just being consistent for the sake of being consistent is waste of time. For example, one of my program members, Tachi, when she started growing rapidly and started her page after joining my program, she actually grew to 200,000 followers, I think, within a year. And in that year, she posted 20 times, 30 times, or something like that. That's like, 2 posts a month. And she outperformed a ton of different people. Why? Well, because she was smart about the content she makes, packaging the content, following the trends, looking what's working, making sure she strategically creates content. When you start, volume is your best friend. Of course, you're not going to be the best content creator in the world. That same goes for me. I needed to put a lot of volume in the beginning. Volume is for you to learn what not to do. When content flops, when content doesn't go nowhere, don't just keep making the same style. Constantly look for something new and keep improving it. If something is not working, don't just try to fix it with consistency. Change it, pivot, do a complete 360 if you have to. Don't just post for the sake of posting. Be smart about it. Hashtags do not matter. do not even use them, okay? Just focus on creating high quality content. Instagram already knows where to show your content to, right? Just think about it. Whenever you go to explore page, you most likely, see the content that you want to see. The reason it's happening is because you engaged with that content, you consume that content, even if you're not clicking like, or even if you're not commenting under those videos or specific pieces of content. Instagram already knows you like watching it because you've been watching it. When you scrolled, you stopped and looked at something for some time, and boom, you are in the algorithm. When was the last time you used the hashtag to go over and search for a specific piece of content? So don't worry about hashtags. They are irrelevant. Okay. Reels are the best way to reach wide audience when you're just starting your page. In the beginning, I would focus only on putting out reels, and I would focus on a simple strategy, which goes like this. Just test as many new unique ideas, angles, and experiment with different kinds of content within your niche and subject. New creators feel discouraged because they're like, oh no, I don't have an audience and I want to build an audience, right? But at the same time, existing creators with an audience are discouraged as well because they are like, oh man, I wish I could start out over. So maybe I would create my content a little bit differently. Now I kind of like caged myself into this specific niche and genre, which I have to keep feeding in order to get good engagement. I'm not saying that once you build an audience, you kind of like are stuck with specific content style, but you can't experiment that much when you are just fresh and new creator. So keep this in mind. When you're new and you don't have an audience yet, you have nothing to lose. So experiment as much as you can. But once you've grown an audience to, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 followers, it's a good time to start incorporating some carousels. And quite frankly, carousels has been the main growth mechanism for my Instagram page, actually. Carousels recently grew my page the most, and I actually enjoy making them way more than just reels. If you want to grow a page with carousels, you must use audio. So whenever you're using audio on your carousels, it's being pushed out to the Reels tab. And when you're not using the audio, it's being pushed out to your existing followers, right? So that's when, when you scroll through the Reels tab, sometimes you see a carousel post. That's because they use audio on it. Personally, I find carousels much easier to make, and they had significant impact on my growth recently, as I said. For example, this carousel you're seeing right now on the screen has grown my page with over 2,000, I think about 2,000 new followers, and generated over 40,000 likes, a ton of engagement, and it just went crazy. All right, guys, so you are not shadow banned. Your content is just not interesting, and you have to face that reality and improve. If you go to your account settings and everything is in green there, you're not shadow banned, okay? Just keep improving your content. Come up with fresh, new, great ideas. Focus on your hooks that matter a lot. And usually that's the reason why your content goes nowhere. Your hooks are simply not that strong. And whenever you drop a high quality piece of content, somehow Instagram already knows it's a banger and it just goes very well. And with that said, your content will flop. It will not perform as well as you thought. Sometimes you even spend hours creating a piece of content just for it to flop. I had this happen hundreds of times, but guess what? The upside is limitless. You have the ability to make millions of dollars just by creating content from the comfort of your own home. And whenever I remember this, I realize, okay, the video flopped, let's get some sleep and come back tomorrow stronger and not make the same mistake that I did yesterday. And this goes back to consistency, right? When something flops, it teaches you what not to do, which is equally, or I would say even more important than succeeding and, going viral. Success doesn't really teach you that much, other than giving you just quick dopamine boost or even ego boost, which could be even worse. But when you fail, it's painful and it's meant to be taken as a lesson. Pivoting is crucial. I pivoted my content style probably 7 times. If you're not evolving, you're not going to be growing. Creators, including me, often make a mistake of sticking with what used to work. We find something and we explore the hell out of it, right? And it just stops working. You no longer get the engagement you used to get. And you're like, crying. And that doesn't mean that you need to change your niche. You just need to find different formats for your content. For example, if you are in fitness and your reel went viral multiple times where you kind of like talk about 5 best exercises to lose belly fat, right? And you post that video again and just doesn't perform anymore, right? What you can do is you can incorporate a day in the life video, right? And be like, day in the life as a fitness coach trying to lose belly fat in 30 days. That would be the same concept, the same value proposition. You're going to be walking people through the day of your life, showing what exercises you do to achieve that goal, showing what you eat, and kind of like sharing your daily routine. And you're going to be able to achieve the same goal and share the same value, but in a different format. Give something fresh and unique. People always want fresh, new, unique formats. They not necessarily want to hear new things, right? Because in fitness and all of these niches that majority of the influencers are, there's nothing really new. You already know that you need to eat less, exercise more, and achieve that goal. But people want novelty, right? They want something new. So that's how you evolve as a creator. Low engagement happens to everyone. Not every post will perform well. And sometimes when you don't have any expectations for a certain piece of content, it just flies and goes viral. Don't stress about low engagement. It's normal. If you go to Social Blade and check your favorite influencers' engagement rate, you're going to find out that their average engagement rate is below 5%, which is completely normal once again. So look, people are going to unfollow you no matter what, especially when you grow a larger audience and you have more of those pieces of content that being pushed out to the algorithm, generating you new followers. And what's going to happen is that you're going to gain 40,000 followers in a month, but then lose 20 to 25,000 followers at the same time. So the grand total number is going to be something like 15,000 plus, which is still phenomenal. And just think about how easy it is to hit follow and unfollow on Instagram. And this is just a part of the game on this platform. You should know that and not worry too much about it. I get unfollowed a ton. And then there's also days when, for example, I gain 1,000 new followers in a day, and then I lose 1,050 followers the same day, which leads me to a grand total of minus 50. But then there are days when you hit 5,000 followers in a single day, lose 1,000, and the ratio is great. You don't want everyone to follow you. That's completely fine. Have a one main umbrella for your content. And what do I mean by that? Have 1 to 2 core ideologies and values that you stand for, and let your content deliver that message. For instance, if you stand for longevity and healthy lifestyle, your content could be about how to cook healthy food, but you could also be posting motivational reels at the same time. Perfectly aligns because you have a core mission, a core ideology. And then you can have a variety of different types of content, which falls under that one main umbrella. Always start with the end in mind. What do you stand for? Share your long-term values that are not really going to change. For example, if your values are family or faith, these things are not likely going to change. And when you align your content with strong values, you're going to stand out. For example, if you are a Christian working in finance, this makes you very interesting brand. However, it's very important to mention that just copying other people is not a way to go. You can't just go out there and remake exact same video that went viral for a big creator and expect similar results. While it could happen and your video could blow up that way, it's very rare and uncommon. It's much better to be different than try to be better. Even if your video is better, but the video concept and idea has been overdone already, it's likely not going to perform as well as fresh, new idea. I see this mistake every day inside my educational company, Creator World. Creators who are just starting out, they go out there, they look for viral looking videos, they try to make them exactly the same way without changing a single thing, and they just flop, they just go nowhere. I've done hundreds of page audits for creators inside my course, and I can tell you that's number one biggest mistake. A much smarter approach is to look for ideas outside of your niche. So for example, if you are in a fitness niche, study the content formats that work in other niches like ASMR, cycling, painting, gardening. Look how these creators structure their viral videos, what hooks are they using, what formats they're using, how long is the video, and then apply those viral concepts to your own niche. That's how you come up with something new and looking original while still packaging that video for virality. Another cool strategy is to look outside of the Instagram platform. And this is how I actually came up with one of my recent viral content ideas, which I'm going to show you. So what you can do is when you open YouTube homepage, right? YouTube is going to be serving you videos that are being pushed by the algorithm. And when you see a video that is popping up multiple times and has, significantly more views compared to the amount of subscribers the channel has. So for example, if a channel has 2,000 subscribers and the video that's being pushed out has 500,000 views, that's a good indicator of a viral worthy content idea. So recently I got this video recommended to me multiple times on YouTube. And I thought, it would be interesting to test out using this video as a hook, like video concept as a hook for my posts on Instagram. And that post, quite frankly, blew up because it was a new original concept on Instagram specifically, not on YouTube, but on Instagram. But it's been proven to work on other platforms. The best thing you can do when you grow your audience on Instagram is grow your email newsletter or email list at the same time. It's going to be the biggest asset you build for yourself. As I said before, people will unfollow you, your content will flop, you go in cycles of, not getting that much reach. But when you have a solid email list, you're set. You can always reach out to those people and not be at the mercy of the algorithm. And just using Instagram, I've built an email list of over 80,000 people. And in this video, I explain exactly how I done it. So if you want to see, tap here and watch it right away.